All right, everybody on Twitch, thanks for joining us. And we'll be live here on YouTube coming up in just a little bit, but getting things started for this Wednesday evening. We are very much live and direct from downtown Chattanooga. We're seeing again another quiet start to the evening. Again, not showing any problems for anything going on downtown. We will be seeing again the potential for some more rain out there in the semi-near future, but again, for right now, not much actually going on. So for the time being, let's go ahead and welcome you to Wednesday evening weather overtime. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onek. This is our video weather blog enabling you, the viewer, to ask questions and get involved with the weather forecast and to see what is going on where it comes to anything involving anything in the forecast coming up. We'll talk a little bit more about science, a little bit more about what's going on with, again, weather for the 24th day of 2024. And if you're just joining us, again, welcome to the show. Again, glad to hear everybody stopping on by for Twitch and YouTube. Still knocked off of Facebook. I don't know why, outside of the fact that somebody from New Orleans tried to hack me, and I still can't sign back up on Facebook. So getting back on there again looks like it's going to be problematic at best, so probably won't be on Facebook for any time soon, but exploring all kinds of other options and putting out stuff around the area of social media. If you'd like to play a game of chess, I'm on chess.com and lichess.org. If you'd like to stop by there, we'll be glad to. I'm no grandmaster, I just know my way around a chessboard, and always nice to be able to have that opportunity to play. We've got some, again, decently quiet conditions for the next few days. We'll talk about the forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Taking a look at the almanac page, we were just a bit above normal for the day. 79 the high. We did not make the lower 80s. That is in our not too far away future. 55 the low temperature. That was about 3 degrees away from the normal. Record high of 92. That was a hot year back in 1925, about 99 years ago. And 34 the record low, 1910. No precipitation. We're behind for the month and the year, so we could definitely use some more rain, and we are seeing the potential problems out of that with the fact that we have even more wildfires popping up. Smoke does not appear to be a major concern at this time. Every single red dot that you see here is a fire detected by the satellite system known as VIIRS, Visible Infrared Imaging Radiometer Suite. Very nice to be able to have this available because we can detect the signature of the fire, the infrared signature from these fires, and there are several dozen of them. Not really for the News 12 viewing area, but for a lot of other places did manage to get a decent amount of some smoke and new fires. And I'll just bet in the next couple of days, even if we get some rain on Friday, we're probably going to see higher wildfire dangers in the next few days. Now, that smoke out there doing a good job of giving us lower air quality, moderate into north central Georgia, some parts of northeast Alabama, Jackson and DeKalb counties in the News 12 viewing area, much of northern Georgia, all the way down to Atlanta and into around eastern Tennessee and northern middle Tennessee, picking up some activity in the way of lower air quality out there. And that's in place all the way across the southeastern United States. Worse air quality from Georgia and Florida, but we're not seeing anything in the way of major concerns. What we did see for today was a decent amount of good air quality as opposed to yesterday with that scrapyard fire. We have good green air quality across the board pretty much. Mold spores were a little higher today, not by much, into the moderate category. Tree pollen is way up high, very high, according to the Chattanooga Allergy Clinic webpage. So for those of you with allergies out there, hope your antihistamines are holding in, because without any rain to wash all this out of the air, we're going to continue to see some pretty ugly conditions as long as the trees keep sending out all that pollen. So not looking good for the area into the rest of the next few days. Let's take a look and see what's going on downtown. We have the ball game wrapping up, and I doubt it was good news for the hometown lookouts for tonight. Bailey's Heating and Air camera, a little out of focus. Sorry about that. I'll try to get that fixed before we go on with News 12 at 11. Downtown looking good for tonight. Very much on the quiet side, but it is a little gritty, kind of hazy on that view. Same thing from Plainview Outdoor Advertising Camera from the 153 and 64 interchange in south central Chattanooga area. A little farther to the south, the Interstate Junction 2475 Tomahawk crane and rigging camera. Everything is moving along quite nicely there. Had a bit of a backup around rush hour, but not doing too bad for right now. Chattanooga Zoo camera focused in on Erlanger Hospital. To my doctors there, I'm sorry I missed my appointment. I'll reschedule, I promise. Hope I didn't cause too much of a schedule confusion there. But otherwise quiet and dry looking down that direction. Chattanooga Theater Center, Speedy's Total Car Care camera. Tons of folks out and about earlier tonight for a bit of a stroll across the footbridge and down toward around Coolidge Park. Beautiful evening for getting out and about. Nothing in the way of rain concerns here. And from the News 12 studios, looking back towards Signal Mountain off in the distance. Well, pardon me, turn that around. Lookout Mountain, Ruby Falls, the Broad Street area, and the 7-Eleven is now open for business. So hopefully they get the slush machines ready to go, because I could use a cherry Coke slush at some point in time. They've got the big slush up on the roof, so you're able to see that from about a block and a half away. So nice to be able to see that. Taking a look at temperatures at the Chattanooga airport. Again, not doing too bad. Back in the mid 60s. Probably heading for the mid to upper 50s in the next hour or so, as we're right up against 10 o'clock Eastern time on Wednesday evening. Not too bad on the winds. A little breezy earlier, but now winds are down towards calm. So looking at some nice conditions for right now. Into this evening, we did have a cold front making its way through the area. It was very weak and has now made its way down toward Atlanta. There was hardly any moisture with this, and really just not expecting too much of anything else out there in the way of rain. High pressure across the Gulf of Mexico, cutting off any moisture from heading north. High pressure over the east coast and off into the western Atlantic, moving some clouds and moisture up. You can see some showers across the eastern Carolinas. This front is going to do a couple of things. Number one, it's going to drop down to the south. So for us, we're not looking at too much of a problem. We are going to see an area of low pressure. You can see a dry line developing here back toward the south and west of the News 12 viewing area. That area of low pressure, which is starting to coalesce here, that's going to take off to the northeast. That's going to bring a warm front across the area by Friday, and that is our next best chance of anything involving the potential of rainfall, and limited chances at best. We're just not looking at too much of anything out there in the way of rain anytime soon. Now, a little farther to the west, actually a lot farther, a couple thousand miles, we have this system sitting across the Gulf of Alaska. This has started to get a little bit more energetic in the last couple of days, and this is what will be heading our direction as we get into the early part of next week. So this has got to go across most of the continent before it affects us. What may happen is that we might be looking at the potential of severe weather, not the collective we here in the News 12 viewing area, but back to the west of us, west of the Mississippi River, next few days. Better potential of some stronger weather as we go through the weekend and into next week. But for us, showers possible, thunderstorms maybe, severe weather for right now. We're just not picking up on much of anything going on in that sense from this system. So keep it tuned to News 12 over the next few days, and we'll keep you advised as to what we may be looking at out there, which could involve some severe weather. It's not out of the question at this time of the year. For tonight into tomorrow morning, brisk temperatures in the high 40s to around the lower 50s. Back into Thursday, sunshine with a little bit of cloud cover across the area, but a mild day coming up. Then that warm front gets a little bit closer to us. By the time we hit Friday morning, more potential of maybe some scattered showers off the tail end of that system. And again, we're not talking about a great deal of opportunity for rainfall. Maybe some more scattered showers into and around Friday at about dismissal time for the kids, and that is going to be about the worst of the worst. Saturday, we start off with some very quiet conditions. There will be clouds around, mostly cloudy starting off for Saturday, but again, not really seeing too much of anything going on just yet. And the rest of the weekend, if you got plans for outdoors, keep them mild, dry, a few more clouds coming up as we go into Saturday afternoon, overnight into Sunday morning. The potential of cool conditions, dry, mostly clear, and then we get into Sunday afternoon, and that is where we see that next storm system back off into the plain states. Anything ahead of that front, especially where this dry line, this brown line right there, the difference between semi-dry air and really dry air, that itself can act as a trigger for severe weather. And it looks like with that combination of that energy of that system and that dry line, we could be looking at a very powerful and widespread threat of severe weather here. Again, not for the Chattanooga, Tennessee River Valley News 12 viewing area. It is possible that as that system gets a little closer to us, that we may see the possibility of some more areas of stronger weather. But for right now, again, it doesn't really look like too much going on. We will see also a very toasty end to April. We're beginning into some very much above normal temperatures for the eastern 2/3 of the United States. That is where we see less potential in the way of any frost coming our way. Some much colder conditions behind that system well back off toward the west coast, as we see some very cool conditions all the way out toward around the west coast. For us, it looks like we're going to be seeing some pretty nice temperatures coming up, looking good for outdoor activities, no question about that. Orion, very visible right in the middle of the screen, the 3 dots of the belt and the Orion Nebula with the sword and the shoulders of Orion out there heading down toward the western horizon. Beautiful conditions. I believe the Chinese space station will be flying over here in just a couple of minutes. About 10 minutes away. We might be able to see that lifting off to the northwest. And Sylvester the Spider is back, helping to keep the mosquito population down. Thank you very much, Sylvester, for helping to keep things a little bit healthier out there with less mosquitoes being caught and eaten. Temperatures, again, not bad. Upper 70s to lower 80s, very close to normal, but getting warmer above normal into the next few days. And then we see again, after that chance of showers on Friday from that warm front that moves on through, then we may see the best potential of thunderstorms on Tuesday. We see maybe some showers Monday night, maybe, and then more thunderstorms on Tuesday, clearing out and staying just as mild. Numbers will be quite nice as we get into around the area of next Wednesday. So a week from today, not that much of a problem to be seen. This, again, should be a limited possibility of thunderstorms. Severe weather, again, we don't have any markers on here because the Storm Prediction Center does not have anything this far out. Again, back to the west of the Mississippi, if you take a look at their website, there's plenty of possibilities of strong storms well back to our west, way west of the Mississippi River. But tonight, I don't see too much of anything going on where it comes to any problems, where it comes to severe weather. That needs to be watched. Again, from roughly January, late January through about late March, early April, that's the prime time for severe weather, and we're almost ready to head out of that into early May next week. And from May until about, say, October, November, that's a good 6 months of where you wind up with those summer doldrums in this part of the country. Now, that doesn't preclude hurricanes bringing severe weather. That doesn't preclude storm systems bringing in more potential for severe weather. It's just that severe weather is the best possibility is right now in this part of the country from January through about April. After that, we get some quiet conditions, again, barring the odd severe storm system coming on through or a leftover hurricane coming up from the Gulf or the East Coast. That is where we could see the problems. But for right now, we need to watch this with that potential of severe weather coming up into next Tuesday. The chances right now, negligible. We're not looking at anything in the way of official forecasting, but I would watch this very carefully if you have any outdoor activities. A lot of kids are getting past the testing phase of schools, so there's going to be a lot more field day activities, getting out and about for the kids to burn off some steam, get some fresh air, and relax as we go into the end of school season. But again, at this point, this still could wind up being a problem. So that's why we need to keep a very, very close eye on that. We'll do that, so keep it tuned to News 12, and we'll keep you advised as to what we may be looking at out there. Speaking of hurricanes, as I just did, we want to make certain that everybody's aware of this latest bit of information that came across the news desk from earlier today. This issued from the area, we got this from the Yale Environment 360, I believe, on their website. We talked a few weeks ago, matter of fact, almost 3 weeks to the day, where NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, announced Colorado State University's hurricane forecast for the upcoming season. And that was bad enough news in and of itself, because the forecast that they issued about 3 weeks ago calls for an incredibly active season. The average number, if you take the last, say, 50 to 55 years, give or take, of hurricane records, the average amount in a season of named storms, that's tropical storms that get strong enough to get a name, hurricanes, regular Category 1, Category 2 storms, and Category 3 plus storms, major hurricanes. All of those on average about 14 per year, give or take. This year's forecast from Colorado State was just about double, and that with a warm situation over the Atlantic, way too warm, way above normal warm temperatures for the Atlantic, and for El Nino going away and becoming La Nina. Depending on what goes on there with those two combinations of things, this could turn out to be a storm season not unlike 2005, where we had Katrina, where we had Rita, where we had Wilma, all of those storms. Again, we ran out. We got all the way through the alphabet. 23 storms will take care of the entire alphabet. We do not use Q, X, and Z names. So that is something, again, to really marvel at, that we're probably going to have to go, if everything works, we might be going back to using the Greek alphabet again, which hasn't really happened except for a couple of times since 2005. Now, Professor Michael E. Mann, who's a very well-respected climatologist who has been sounding the alarm about climate change, working with the School of Arts and Sciences at the University of Pennsylvania. The website, again, web.sas.upenn.edu. Their forecast came out today. The low is expected at 27 storms. Again, 23 was the storm possibility from NOAA. The low end of their forecast is at 27 named storms. The high end at 39, and right there in the middle, their main number to look at is right here, about 33 storms, named storms, for the 2024 North Atlantic hurricane season. This is as it says in the article from University of Pennsylvania, this is in about the 15 years that this forecasting has gone on from Pennsylvania University, that is the highest count ever projected. This is going to wind up possibly, and I hope that all these forecasts are wrong, because this could turn out to be one of the worst hurricane seasons ever. That's not hyping anything. That's just based on what the experts and the computer models and algorithms are saying, given the conditions of a very non-cooled off ocean. The Atlantic Ocean is as cool right now, as warm right now as it is during July. That, again, due to the fact that the ocean is absorbing as much heat from the atmosphere that humans are putting into it due to a fossil fuel economy and doing a very good job of heating up the atmosphere above us, above the land and the ocean absorbs that water, absorbs that heat into the water to try to balance out the heat of our planet. So the oceans are doing their best to try to protect us. We, on the other hand, keep dumping more carbon dioxide, which is holding in more heat, and that fossil fuel power economy is what is helping to contribute to human-induced climate change. That is what we're looking for right now. So with those factors in mind, these forecasts are, again, a very good series of reasons to pay very close attention to what is going on in the tropics. If you've got anything scheduled in the way of vacation or business or whatever reason to the Gulf Coast from Texas to Florida and from Florida up to southeast Canada, if you're heading to anything coastal, out to the Bahamas, out into the ocean, you really need to watch what goes on. Bermuda got hit about 3 times this last year by a couple of side-swiping hurricanes and almost, I believe, got a couple of direct hits almost. Of not quite so powerful storms for 2023. So for right now, the best you can do is prepare for this, be ready, stay informed, watch what goes on, and by all means, again, help to spread the word about what is going on with climate change. That is going to be one of the best things you can possibly do to talk up the science and refer to the experts and to learn as much as you possibly can. Talk to your elected officials, the electorate, sending the leaders to the legislature, to the city council, to the Congress. They need to know about this, and not everybody in those leadership positions is a scientist or has a scientific background. So it's up to the electorate, us, the voters, to be able to put that out there to talk about what climate change is doing and what all of us, especially the lawmakers, can do to learn and to adapt and to prepare and look farther down the line to make certain that we all have as much information as we possibly can in regards to what is going on with climate change. This is a very serious topic, and this is going to be affecting our planet for a very long period of time, longer than your grandkids and great-grandkids will be around unless we start acting now. And these amazingly, hugely busy hurricane seasons are going to be just the tip of the melting iceberg, so to speak. So something to watch out for there. More information, again, available through the website if you would like to take a little bit of a look there. And, of course, I'm posting all kinds of information to my social media pages, minus Facebook, of which I may never get back on again. Thanks to whoever the dingus was down in New Orleans who tried to hack me for setting all this in motion. I'm having a lot of difficulty getting things taken care of, and Facebook doesn't believe I am who I say I am, and there's not much of anything I can do about that. But in the meantime, grousing aside, please check in with me on social media. I'm on all over the place. Let us know, again, if there's anything you'd like to see on here when it comes to anything involving whatever you'd like to see. Let's hear more about that. We'd love to be able to help you out and make this your go-to video weather blog. Our WDEF.com/vote now page, sponsored by friendinroofing.com. The weather poll question of the day: in order to be considered a thunderstorm, what has to be included? And the answer is kind of in the title, the question itself. There is no such thing as a thunder shower. It's a thunderstorm or it's a shower. And the main thing is to determine between a shower and a thunderstorm is, of course, what causes the thunder, and that's lightning. You don't have to have damaging winds. You don't have to have tornadoes. For severe weather, yes, that is some of the things that you can have, but in order to be an actual thunderstorm, you actually have to have lightning. So thank you, friendinroofing.com, for being our sponsor here. QR code on your screen, you can use that to get there, or go to our website, WDEF.com/vote now, if you'd like to get a little bit more information about that. New poll goes up at midnight, so stay tuned for more there. This was kind of cool for today as well, from Stacy in Chattanooga. Thank you very much for this picture, what she titles a, quote, hole in the sky. And this is really kind of neat to be able to see this, because this is an after effect of something that disturbed this area of clouds. If you get cold enough in the atmosphere, you can have liquid water that is, the temperature is lower than freezing. It's called supercooled water. It remains liquid. And you're saying, well, how is that possible? If the water, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the water has to be clean enough. It has to be at the right height, the right temperature. It has to be kind of undisturbed. Because when that happens, like if a plane flies through here, or if a gust of wind jostles some of those molecules of water, then it's kind of like if you've ever seen anything in the way of a super cooled, cold water bottle. You take it and you slam it gently on the surface of the desk, and you can see the crystals of ice take over as the disturbance creates those ice crystals. Well, then they get heavier, and then they drop right out of the sky right in that particular area. So that right there, this type of pattern is called a fall streak hole. It is also classified as a hole punch cloud. Really cool to be able to see this. The effect of super cooled water droplets turning to ice crystals and then dropping out of the sky. And sometimes you can see a little bit of a trail of cirrus cloud, feathery clouds dropping out of these. So Stacy in Chattanooga, that was an excellent capture. Thank you very much for sending that in for our Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day. Thanks also to Langley Roofing for being our sponsor for the weather window segment. You can send in your pictures, drop them to our comments section on our social media pages, X, Facebook, or Instagram. You can email them to us at pictures@wdef.com, or you can go to our website, our brand new section of our website, wdef.com/photos. You can see what other people have been submitting for the Langley Roofing weather window picture of the day, or you can submit your own right there. So there's plenty of ways to get your pictures into us. So please drop those to us. We would love to be able to see what you are seeing out there. Bus stop forecast for the morning. Again, not bad. We don't have a sponsor for this page, so if there's a business out there that would like to sponsor our nightly bus stop forecast during the weekdays, weeknights, please contact our sales department for more on that. It'll be toasty tomorrow, but it'll be dry, kind of cool in the morning with a mixture of clouds and sun, and not looking at any rainfall until Friday morning, and even then, those chances are really not that great. Outdoors forecast sponsored by Island Cove Marina and Resort Tracker Boats. Not too bad tomorrow, looking very good. Maybe a little breezy, but otherwise, again, not doing too bad. And likewise, if you're heading out to do battle with the groundhogs at the local golf club, looking pretty good as well. No problems at all. This one brought to you by Brainerd and Brown Acres Golf Course, our sponsor. Thank you very much for being thanks to all of our sponsors for doing what you do and helping us to pay our bills. That's very kind of you. So for tonight, again, that should pretty much do it. Let me do one more for tonight into tomorrow. The weather was perfect in Chattanooga, and whether or not it stays that way into tomorrow, well, we'll see. But it looks like we'll have some clouds around, very mild to start off, as the lookouts who are in need desperately of a win will be taking on the Birmingham Barons Thursday night, AT&T Field, just south of the Tennessee River. Winds coming in off the river from the northeast, which means any pop flies might be blown back into around the infield a little bit if they get breezy enough. Chances of a rain out, not a possibility tomorrow. No rain being seen there. And for Friday, I think things will be looking pretty good too. So we don't see any problems at all with anything involving rain coming in and spoiling anything in the way of problems there with the game. So for Thursday, head down to AT&T Field, get some baseball, lookouts versus the Barons, and the weather's going to be perfect. So play ball all the way around, looking excellent as we go into tomorrow for baseball. That should do it, I think, again, as for right now, because we've got very quiet conditions for the time being. We'll post this to our website, wdef.com/weather, if you'd like to see more about the replay taking place there. And again, you can find me on all these social media pages. And again, on our YouTube and Twitch pages, that is available there to you. So join me for more on that. Questions, concerns, ideas, email me at aonic on the screen below from where we're looking on Twitch and on YouTube, aonic at wdef.com. If there's something you'd like to see on here more or less of, let me know. I'd love to be able to see more about what you would like to see and what we can do to keep you coming back to take a look and see what you would like to be able to look at on here when we're talking about weather and science and things like that. So please give us a shout. Again, you can go there, bottom of the screen, wdef.com/weather. That's our web page that you want to go to for everything weather in the Tennessee River Valley. So keep it tuned for more with News 12 on that. Chip Chapman will have more on your forecast bright and early on Thursday morning starting at 5 a.m. And I'll be back tomorrow afternoon to give you an idea as to what's going on into the rest of the forecast. So definitely want to stay tuned for more there. Been on for about a half an hour tonight. Had a decent amount of information. Thanks to everybody on Twitch and YouTube for checking in. And we'll have more on the forecast again coming up as we go through the rest of the week, so please stay tuned. I'm Chief Meteorologist Austin Onick, live and direct from downtown Chattanooga, Tennessee, southeastern United States, Northern Hemisphere, planet Earth, Milky Way galaxy. Thanks for joining us tonight, and stay tuned for more with News 12 on air and